Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 91st episode of the Renatus J.A.M.
Wow, we're in the 90s. I didn't know
91.
that. That's cool.
Today's our 91st.
Wow. We've been doing this a while.
A little while.
Yeah.
A little while.
Couple of years.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
So my name is Jay Stark.
Yes.
I realized I got a little stuck on 91 there.
Yeah.
wasn't moving along the way I should have. And joining me, as always, is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
Mr. Matt Snyder.
And I'm trying to find the live stream here. So,
all right. So
that's what I'm doing on the.
Here's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is today we are going to open up our call line. That sounds funny. I feel like an old DJ host when I say that, you know. Call line's now open. Dial 888 Renatus Rocks.
That's right.
Nah, here's what we're going to do is we are going to take time to answer any questions that you may have that we can answer. Now, there is no question that is off limits. However, they are subject to our responses, meaning that we get to answer these however we want. So you're welcome to ask any question you want, but if it's completely out of bounds, don't be surprised when you don't get the kind of answer you may be expecting. But
Yeah.
if it's anything regarding Renatus, anything regarding the Renatus opportunity, or anything that we talk about on this podcast on the regular, we are happy to go over that, to talk about it, to address it. We may ask you a few more questions about it. However, today we're going to dedicate the second half of this podcast to you. So the more questions that we get, the more fun that we're going to have together. Sound good?
Sounds good, Jay.
Sounds great. Like Tony Tiger great.
That's right.
Dude, I was stolen long enough here. Have you still not gotten the live feed up? I've got the live feed up in front of me right now. I'm looking at. We look wonderful.
Do we?
We do. You know what I realized?
How do I look?
You look all right.
All right.
Yeah, you look okay.
I want to hear other answers other than Jay. I feel like he might be biased.
Oh, somebody just typed in anonymous. Yeah, he looks okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There is no anonymous comment.
Thanks, wife.
Thanks, honey. We don't have our backdrop right now.
We lost it.
We lost our backdrop. I don't know what's going on here, so maybe we'll get that back. Oh, Ryan Dodge says you're both beautiful.
Oh, Ryan.
Ryan. For that, you get a wink and a finger guns.
That's right. And you get a thank you from me.
Nice. Right on. So, all right.
I don't think we're demonetized now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. See that? You hear that noise? That was us being demonetized.
I hope you guys could hear that on the podcast.
He said the G word.
Funny. That was funny.
Pull the stream.
There it goes again. Every single time. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, we're back. I hope you guys can hear that on the podcast.
I know, otherwise
we probably
they're
sound
like
like a couple of lunatics.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
So what's new and exciting, Jay?
Thank you, Mr. Snyder, for pulling us back from that hard left turn.
Yes.
So we are currently on day number 9 of the 10-day challenge.
Sweet. Is it too late to get in?
On this one, yeah. It's too late. If you haven't started,
Bummer.
You need to wait.
All
but
right.
here is a benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. For everybody that is completing this 10-day challenge, everybody who completed the last 10-day challenge, and anybody who completes the next 10-day challenge are going to receive a special invite to a live event hosted by us featuring Garrett Gunderson.
Wow.
He has an all new day of training where he's going to be talking about, he calls it the profiles of money. In essence, he's taking something akin to Drive, where people have different communication styles and profiles, and he is combining that with how people view money. And then he's created around that a frame of how you can effectively communicate with people based on their frame around money, their perspective on money. It is truly fascinating.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm assuming I've seen part of this.
You have.
I've
you
seen
saw
him talk about.
You
this.
saw like the first hour.
Yeah, and that was really really eye opening for me. Right, like I've never once thought about my relationship to money. I know kind of like weird, but I've never really like analyzed or thought about like, who am I? Am I
Right.
the miser, or the like
Right.
the one that's frivolous, or and one of the things that I think a lot of times people don't like what's been interesting, okay, over the last maybe year or so, what I've noticed after I saw him do that, and I've talked to other people about this concept, how often people have different concepts of money, like what they think of as money, and some people think I can't have a lot of it, or if I have a lot of it, it makes me a bad person,
Right.
because poor is humble and
is righteous somehow.
And I've seen people that think that like I must like break a sweat to make it.
Right.
Think about that. Like it actually takes physically hard labor to make it, and if I make it any other way, it's a bad thing.
Right.
There's so many attachments, labels maybe that you've put in there around money that, it's fascinating.
It's very
stuff.
eye-opening, and it gives each one of us an opportunity to kind of do some self-reflection and say, how do I view money, and how can I understand how other people view money?
Yes.
Because our views on money, our perspective are going to be different, and Garrett covers that in a way that is funny. He's got a lot of humor mixed into it, but it's also very enlightening on giving each one of us tools to recognize each other's our frame around money. Anyway, that is available for people who have completed the last Spartan Challenge, this Spartan Challenge, or one of the next two. So that's who this will be available to. They'll be invited to join the live broadcast or to come in studio and be part of our studio audience.
Oh, cool.
So if you want to be part of that studio audience, or if you want to be part of the online audience, then you need to have completed one of the last two 10-day challenge or the next two.
Yeah. There have been a couple of real estate investors over the years, the people that purchased our education but did not become ICMs. So in other words, I don't see them at nationals. I don't see them at regionals. Who I see on some of these older classes, and it's been a few years or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wonder how they're doing. Wonder what they're almost immortalized in Renatus by being physically present in the audience here. So yeah.
Man, that's funny because I'm thinking of a couple of people now that you said that.
Yeah, there's a handful. It's like, man,
I can
wonder
remember.
what they're up to.
I remember the very first recording that we ever did. This was back in May of 2011, I think.
Yeah.
Was the very first one. And I can still remember some of the people that were there.
Yeah.
And I look back at that now and I think back on it very fondly, because that was a huge transition for Renatus. That was the very, very beginning. And to see where we've come from and where we are and where we're heading gives me a lot of hope.
Of course. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
awesome. So, okay, the 10-day challenge, we're on day number 9.
Okay.
And that'll finish up tomorrow. And anybody who finishes that challenge will be invited to the live Garrett briefing broadcast.
Come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Physically,
Join us.
physically be here.
Join us. It's going to be awesome.
Make the drive if you got one. It'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Some other announcements.
Okay.
We have this week in Washington, D.C.
What do we got going on in D.C.?
Our next regional.
Oh, what? That's
buddy.
That's gonna be awesome with Umair and Yas.
Oh yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Oh,
I wish
my
I could be
goodness.
there. I'm sorry, Umair. Yas, I'm sorry. I can't be there, but I'm hearing very good things already about you guys and what's going on there.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing the report.
Yeah. You got Nancy, you've got Eric, Mr. Bob Snyder's going to be there. Yep. And we've got Greg Kimball, who made a huge entrance into the Renatus community down at the Leaders Retreat, but then absolutely just blew everyone away.
Oh yeah.
At the Denver Regional.
Went nuclear. Too soon?
Too soon. Yeah, we can't say that on the.
We're already demonetized. We're now going to get pulled.
Now it's over.
No, yeah, he really crushed it in everything. I mean, he spoke, and I mean, when we sat in the vehicle with Greg and Kenya, me and my dad,
Yeah.
we were in the vehicle with Bob Tierney and Greg Kimball, and Greg was just dropping knowledge, man. I mean, like we talked quite a bit, and we got to know his background, like what he does. I mean, he's a sales trainer for major companies.
Right.
He does professional speaking all over the world. Like he's he had a music show in Vegas and did all this stuff there.
Right.
Like he's got quite the background, and
Yeah.
as he's talking, I didn't even know who he was going into it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I've heard lots of people, will say, okay, yeah, I did all this and I did and whatever.
Right.
And sometimes I'm a little hesitant to get on board until I like really see some action or some substance behind it. And as he was talking like on and on, I got to know, man, this guy, he knows his stuff. Like he's the real deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Denver Regional, I was eager to see how he did. Participating in a Renatus event there, and crushed it in the musical, right, in the award ceremony, and boy, he fired everybody up at regionals.
That's awesome.
He just, I can't wait to hear how it goes in DC.
So I had a conversation with him yesterday, I believe. He and I, or Monday. I think this was Monday. We were talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And he just told me, he's like, Jay, I am sold out to Renatus. I am all in. This is where I belong. And he says, I know that Renatus has been around for a little while, but he said, I feel like we're just getting started.
I agree with him there. We're in the early stages. We're young as a company. We're at the ground floor.
Yeah.
Another thing I've always heard that about companies, like, you got to get in on the ground floor, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But this is different.
Yeah.
And I mean, it. You've seen it. You know it. If you're here, you know why it's different. But
yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
But he has committed. Mr. Kimball is committed to attending every single regional this year.
Yes.
And so he will be in DC. He will be in Fort Lauderdale. He will be in Salt Lake and Phoenix.
Makes me so happy. I was pushing hard for that. I was like, this guy needs, these other markets need to see and hear this. What he's got in store for him. I mean, these events change lives. We've talked about it, head to the heart. They're big. They're something that really changes how you think about Renatus and what you know about it. And
right.
His energy and his presentation are going to be a big part of that for people.
Well, I can't wait to see it. He actually told me, he's like, Jay, I'm coming in early into Salt Lake, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna spend some time together. We're gonna hang out, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. He was like, he's like, we were talking about that, and he's like, we should go like mountain biking or something. He does that all the time.
Yeah.
And if you know Greg, and you know that Greg does something, then that means he does it to the best of human capabilities.
Right.
So like, I'm like, hey, well, I don't know. I ride dirt bikes. You ever ridden a dirt bike? He's like, no, I've never been on one. I think we'll ride dirt bikes together. Maybe that's what we'll do.
You're gonna give yourself a little bit of a head start there.
A handicap there, right? Like I gotta, because he's a different kind of individual.
Man, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love people who are intentional with their time, intentional with who they are and how they show up consistently. And it was funny. I was having a conversation with my son last night. So his football season ended last night. They had their last game. He played an amazing game, but they still got smushed, right? Mm-hmm. And so he was sitting in the car and we were talking, and he was telling me how disappointed he was with some of the team leaders and what was going on. And I said, first of all, you cannot hold other people accountable to the same standard that you set for yourself. You just can't. As you do, you'll find yourself being continually disappointed because they do not commit the way you're committed.
Yeah.
And I said, but second, and this one's a little more important, you need to decide who you're going to be and then be the very best version of that person.
Absolutely.
That's how you need to show up. And as you do, you will empower and give permission to everyone around you to do the same thing.
Yep.
And then you're going to start seeing people show up in a powerful way.
Yeah.
And so as we were having that conversation, just an opportunity to remember, that we are the captain of our ship. We are the commander of our destiny. I said that wrong, but that's a quote from Invictus. I know that we're in charge and we're accountable. And Greg is a great example of what one guy can do.
Yeah.
Just by taking control of his mindset.
Oh, absolutely. He ran a marathon kind of spur of the moment right before his 3-day event that was literally right before the 2-day regional that he hosted and Silver held. That was like, so Monday that week he ran a marathon because he had some client in town and somebody was like, I need to train. I'm trying to train for a marathon. He's like, why don't we just run one? That's literally like right. He was trying to run like 10 miles and he's just like, why don't we just do the whole 26.2?
So I'm reading the book "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins right
this
now.
This is where this is David Goggins. I was like,
I'm hearing David Goggins just over and over.
He's just a Renatus David Goggins. Like he is nuts. And then we got done with the regional. I was like, man, what are you gonna do? Like you've been going hard for 5 days, really 6 days, right? 6 days straight you've been going. And he's like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna take the night off. I'm gonna go home and go to bed because I got a 100-miler tomorrow. I'm not kidding. On a bike, right? So he's riding a bike.
On a bike.
A
little bit better.
A little bit better, but still 100 miles on a bike. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, oh, I'll be all right. I do it all the time. I was like, what? Who is this guy?
Love it. Love it.
He's an animal, man.
Yeah, here we go. We got Greg Goggins. I mean, Kimball.
Greg Goggins.
Greg Goggins. He's going to be coming around to every single regional. He has sold out to Renatus, to who we are, because of individuals like Bob Snyder. And I love how Bob seems to attract these high-level, high-capability, crazy talented individuals into the community.
Yeah.
And Greg is just another person.
Legitimately, when I look at what my dad was in his 30s, that's what they are. 2 peas in a pod, man.
Nice.
Like, you want to know what Bob Snyder was like in his mid 30s? Just look at the way Greg Kimball runs his life. It's just
come meet young Bob.
Yeah, exactly. It's true though. Like they just he
awesome.
went hard. He just going all the time and doing things like he had to be successful on a daily basis, and he just never let off the gas.
Right on.
Yeah.
So once again, before we finish up with all of our announcements here, we have opened up this line. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and get them submitted in the chats right now so that we can answer those as we get to that segment. I just wanted to put that out there one more time in case somebody's joined us since the very beginning. Mm-hmm. We're taking your questions today. So the more questions that you have, the more time we get to spend together.
Sweet.
All right. So we went through the Renatus regional schedule, and we didn't actually throw the schedule up, but Andrew, if you could throw that schedule up for just a second and let people see kind of what those dates are one more time. We have he's getting a bunch of lower thirds of it. There it is.
There we go.
All right. So we've got DC this weekend, 14th and 15th.
Chi-Town.
And then Chicago, the Windy City,
That's
the
right.
21st, 22nd. And actually, the Windy City, that nickname has nothing to do with the wind. Who knew?
I did not. Why?
Oh, really?
No,
it's got
really
to do
didn't
with the politicians that would blow hot wind.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, that's why it's called the Windy City.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So we've got
know
Chicago, the Windy City, on October 21st and 22nd. Then we're going to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it just says Florida, but it's actually Fort Lauderdale. That's on the 4th and 5th of November, which is a great time to visit Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely.
coming back to the hometown, Salt Lake City, November 11th and 12th, followed by Phoenix.
Yeah.
On the 18th, 19th of
Phoenix
November.
in November is finally bearable.
Yeah. That's the best time to
That's
visit.
the
Actually,
time.
January is probably the best time to
I'd say
visit Phoenix.
Probably.
It's so funny if you've ever had this experience. If you're from any kind of climate that has cold weather in the winter, this is hilarious. you'll go down to Phoenix in January. It'll be 75 degrees in Phoenix, and people are wearing parkas.
Yeah.
And you'll be walking around in a short sleeve shirt going, what are you nut jobs doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to name any names, but people come up, they drive up from Phoenix and they show up here, from time to time or whatever, and they come to the office. And there have been a couple of times where it's like in the 70s. It's like 72 degrees outside, and they're wearing a hoodie and jeans and like, man, it's cold up here.
It is so cold.
Talking about winter, and I'm like,
Right.
winter? What are you? I'm shorts and a t-shirt. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Like,
well, you run a little hot anyway, man.
I do. I run hot. Yeah. I mean, realistically, like in January, this is what I'll be wearing, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so we've got the regionals wrapped up. We got the 10-day challenge that we walked through. You know, it's we are right now in the middle of the 5-star winner circle qualification time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are we? What's the date? Are we exactly in the middle?
Today's the 12th.
We're getting
and,
close.
Man, we are just a couple days away from the center point of the challenge.
Yeah.
And we've already had some huge movement on the leaders board.
Oh yeah.
And so right now, leading the 5-star winner circle challenge is Jason Nedro.
Yes.
Now, most people are going to go, who?
Yeah.
Now, anybody who's been with Renatus since
For
about
a long time.
2012,
Yeah, a long time.
10 years plus.
Yeah.
Anyone who's been with us that long will recognize the name Jason Nedro.
Yep.
As he was with us in the beginning.
Yeah.
He stepped away, pursued a few other opportunities, and has realized the grass really isn't greener on the other side of the fence, but more that the grass is greener where you water it.
Yep.
And so now he has come back to Renatus and is currently leading the 5-star winner circle. So not only are we super excited that he is here and that he's killing it, but we're also going to bring him out on the Founders Live to have him tell his story. So everybody can look forward to hearing from the current 5-star winner circle leader and hearing about how he has progressed, where he was when Renatus started, where he is now, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to that. And it's good to have him back. Good to have you back, Jason.
Oh, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
Super excited to hear from him as well. The 5-star winner circle, though, it goes from September 1st until November 30th.
Yep.
But this includes every single direct commission that any ICM earns.
It does.
So it doesn't include event fees. It doesn't include OES. It doesn't include any of that. Instead, it only includes direct earnings.
Yep.
So if you go out there and you make a sale, that counts.
Yep.
If somebody who is 0-star qualified is going out there making a sale and you are their upline qualified affiliate, that counts.
Yeah, because that's that first level. You're
exactly.
Yeah, you're direct commission. You're catching.
Exactly.
So you're splitting. Of
right.
sorts, and so
but anything that you get paid
on that
counts.
direct level, that's right.
And I'll give you this. I'll tell you this. This is a little secret between me and you for everybody who's on the line with us.
Yeah.
On Monday, I was talking with Umair, and Umair asked me, he says, Jay, what would it take for me to get into the 5-star winner circle? And I said, honestly, Umair, I'm not going to give you numbers right now, but I will tell you that if you this week were able to put in 6 cash Epics orders, that would probably get you in the 5-star winner circle.
Well,
for this week.
That's right, for this week.
Next week, it's going to be even further down the line.
Probably. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's so much fun to see people going back and forth. And we've had some movement on the board. We had Mike and Carrie Skrdla were on the board for a long time. They're now off of the board. Jason Andrus has moved down the board. Yep. He's now number 5. And so, he better keep on hustling or he might get knocked off as well.
Becky popped onto that board.
Oh, man. Becky Renatus came on there in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's crushing it.
And then Edmund Fontana, he's down. Was he in 4th place? Is that where he's at now, I think?
I can't remember.
He's either 3rd or 4th place.
I think he's 4th. I think he's 4th place, yeah.
But
you know.
nobody is safe on this.
But Edmund,
leaders
you
board.
better get to work.
All of everybody who's on the current board and everybody who wants to be on
Yeah,
the board
'cause, yeah,
needs to get to work because
yeah,
this one's been a lot of fun to watch.
it's which is exactly what I was hoping for out of a
Exactly.
shorter duration.
Yeah.
Wanting to see more
Yep.
new faces,
New
fresh
names.
faces, and
Yep.
and see it change
Yeah.
more often. Because now we're seeing it week to week. We're just seeing shifting going all over the place. So it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
That
It's a
gets
lot
me
of fun.
excited.
Gets me all jacked up as well. But
yeah.
I tell you what, hearing about Becky's success, what she's been able to create.
Oh yeah.
She at the leaders retreat had just signed up as an ICM.
Yeah, she's gone through the whole 5-star qualification
And
process.
She is now 5-star.
No shortcuts.
None.
She went through the whole 5-star qualification process and
Yep.
now is on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she's doing great.
she's killing it.
Yeah, she is. She is. So hopefully we can get her either on this podcast or on the Founders Live soon.
Oh,
and
I'd
we can
sure
talk
love
to her.
that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yes.
That'd be a good time. But yeah, so that's the 5-star winner circle. It goes all the way through November 30th. It's for any sale that is created, signed, and paid for.
Okay. Yep.
Signed, sealed, delivered, right?
Yep.
If it's in the system, it's paid for and signed, then it counts. And
Right.
that ends at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yeah, paid for. We always get this with cashier's checks. If you're putting in an order as a cashier's check, it doesn't count as paid for until the cashier's check is in our hands
Right.
here.
Right.
So just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, let's see here. We had the 5-star winner circle, the Founders Live. The last thing I wanted to mention is in the form of our announcements is just a friendly reminder about our ICM renewals.
Yeah.
So
Coming
as of
up.
what's that?
It's coming up.
It is December 1st is when the renewals will open up. We have some new functionality that'll be coming out too, pretty close to that time. I can't go into it too much, but that'll be a new opportunity for everybody to just create a higher level of accountability for themselves. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But when the ICM renewals come online, here's kind of how it looks. Okay, anybody who signed up last year, when the renewals come up, it's going to be $197.
Yep.
To renew that's the annual fee.
Yes.
And just so everyone's clear, the renewal just goes to ensuring that the back office stays online, that the corporate staff is taken care of. It covers all of the operating costs that we have to keep Renatus online.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how we can maintain the comp plan that we do, is by having this fee once a year.
Yep.
So $197 if you signed up last year. It's going to be a full renewal for your annual subscription. Anybody who signed up for the very first time this year, between January 1st and June 1st, it's going to be $197 as well.
Yep.
Anybody who signed up between June 1st, and I say that, but it's actually the end of May, right? June 1st technically counts as a discounted rate. So anyone between June 1st and then September 1st, so which is again the end of August.
Right.
So June 1st and August 30th or whatever.
31st.
31st.
31 days.
They're going to get a discounted rate. They're going to pay $125 for their renewal.
Okay.
And then anybody who signed up between September 1st and the end of the year is going to get a $0 renewal fee. Now, we still need a signature on the agreement.
On the renewal. So you do need to sign. You just don't need to pay. But I thought it was October 1st. You're saying it's
Did
September?
I say it wrong?
Are you saying it's September 1st?
Is it June 1st or October 1st? Did I mess
think
that
it's
up?
October.
I messed that up. I apologize.
Erases.
No.
It's October 1st.
A little
Yeah.
backsy there. That's what that was.
Yeah, Mulligan here. We'll get it right. But yeah, no, it's October 1st to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So if you sign up as an ICM from October 1st to the end of the year, then your renewal will be $0 and you just need to sign for it.
Yep.
And then you're good.
Do me a favor. One, don't delay. As soon as renewals come out, just don't delay. We always have people that delay. I mean, we tell you this all the time, that we have enough people that are procrastinating, getting around to doing something that they oftentimes miss the deadline.
Yep.
And we do have a built-in fudge factor where we say, you know what, we open it up December 1st, but you'll actually have until the end of January as kind of a grace period between January 1st and the end of January 31st. But don't be that guy. Don't do that.
I know.
Because
Don't be it. But there's going to be a mad rush of people the end of
yeah.
December. There always is. Right after Christmas.
There always is. And we try to get as many people taken care of as possible. But what happens is if you fail to renew in December, come January 1st, your account locks.
Yeah, you
can
not
no
in
longer-
ICM. You no longer have commissions tabs. You no longer have any of that stuff.
It's actually still there, but you can't receive your commissions.
Yep.
You can't register for events. You
You're
can't.
right. So that gets taken away later. We do have the fudge factor, but
Right.
but you're no longer an ICM. That's
Right.
the issue. You can't put in an order. You can't collect on orders. You can't do any of that stuff. And so that's not good. I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't want
Right.
that. So just get it in, and especially because that last week of Christmas and New Year's, and we're limited staff. It's kind of skeleton crew. There's a lot going. We all got family stuff going on. We're celebrating Christmas and we're
Right.
celebrating New Year's, and that's when the most people want to jam in their ICM order. And if you have any kind of issue getting it in or anything like that, it causes problems, and there's not enough people to help, or
Right.
potentially at least there's just get it done December 1st. You know you're going to do it anyways. So
Right.
Just
So
do
just
it.
get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, it's always hard because you run the risk of losing your qualification if you delay past January 31st. You run the risk of losing your downline, losing any of your
Yeah.
leads, all of that. And it always, every year we have people that are like, oh, well, whatever the excuse is,
Yeah.
right? Even things that are absolutely valid, they're still, we can't delay it.
Right.
You know, our system has to go through the process. And so because of that, just get it done as soon as possible. Just to ensure that way, if there is a circumstance that would normally prevent you happening later, that it doesn't stop you from taking advantage of the opportunity.
Agreed.
So,
Okay.
all right, ICM renewal. Also, we've got the national conference coming up. That's March 30th to April 1st. We'll get more into that as
Okay.
we get a lot closer to it. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to open it up to our question line.
We got some questions here.
I got a couple
And
of
I'm
questions.
struggling to get the YouTube feed pulled up here, so
Oh, Matthew.
forgive me, all.
Matthew.
I don't know what the
Matthew.
deal is.
You know,
So-
you come to rely on somebody and you just think, oh yeah, this won't be a problem. We're just gonna be able to go through here and yeah.
I'm glad I could help.
Oh, you know what's funny is I don't see the live. I see number 90,
Yeah, so do I.
but I don't see 91
So,
on there.
yeah, it's,
Oh, 90 was the one with Nancy Rowe. That was so good. That was a really good one.
absolutely.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
But I don't see our newest, latest, and greatest on there.
I don't either. So, you know,
So I
what's
don't know
going
what
on.
I'm doing wrong.
It'll be there. If I
Well,
can tell you
yeah,
that
it'll definitely be there.
so.
But I thought we would be able to.
yeah, to talk live chat. So
Yeah. So
So
okay.
what do we got in
Here's
Facebook?
what we're gonna do. I do have a couple of questions on here on our Facebook chat feed right now from Mr. Alvin Lamb.
Okay,
And Alvin is our favorite maniac.
that's right.
Love this guy.
Up in Maine,
Yes. And
still a state, people.
still a state. What are you talking about? Still a state? Of course
I'm
it's a
teasing.
state.
People do that about Utah all the time.
Oh my
you know.
goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make fun of it.
I could make fun of Utah.
What's
all day
Utah?
long. Right.
People back east, like what's Utah? You can't. I think it was even on Friends where Ross said Utah, and Joey's like, "Well, now you're making up states," you know.
Nice.
Anyways,
Nice. All right. So here's what Mr. Lamb said first. He said, "What does a day in your Renatus life look like?"
busy, lots of stuff to do,
Yeah.
lots of responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, but it's busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he talking about you or me?
He didn't address either one of us specifically. So here's the deal. My days are filled with meetings typically.
Yep.
And I'm meeting with ICMs. I meet with PAC members. I meet with internal staff members. I meet with outside vendors every day, right? Yep. I have a series of meetings, and then I have a series of checks and reviews that I need to do on our system. I run a series of reports over our finances to see what's going on. I take a look at the orders that are coming in. I take a look at the money in the accounts. I take a look at all of that fun stuff. And that I typically do in the morning, right? That's kind of my morning routine. Is I come in, I start running reports, I start making phone calls, get on a couple of meetings, and then I take a lunch break. And typically on lunch, I listen to either a podcast or my book. Right now, I keep talking about David Goggins because I just, man, I've gone into that guy's life like in depth. I've stalked him online. Stay hard.
That's right.
So, and then my afternoon is typically a lot just more of the same, where I'm interacting with team members. I also have to go through. There are certain I block out time to go through emails to ensure that I'm actually responding to everybody who sends me an email. So if you send me an email, you will get a response. It may be a day delayed, or if it's over the weekend, a couple of days. But I respond to all of those emails. And then I usually do either in the afternoon, it could be a little bit of research on upcoming founders' lives or on other opportunities. This last week, I had a virtual conference that I was attending over the week, which was really, really cool. But yeah, that's kind of what a day in the life looks like. But it's super amazing just how much energy gets generated by talking with people. It was really interesting. A couple weeks ago, my wife and I were talking, and she goes, "Are you doing okay?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm fine." And she goes, "Well, you've been a little bit more tired at home." And I started to think about it, and I realized that my problem was that I had this problem here at work that I could not get my mind wrapped all the way around. And I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept failing, and I kept failing. And don't worry, you guys are going to see the fruits of this. And I think next week is when we're going to start doing this. Anyway, it's going to be awesome. But it wasn't until I thought about it that I realized that I get energized by coming to work. It powers me up. So when I get home,
I can confirm this. I've seen it. I know it.
So when I get home, I am rip roaring ready to go. Whether it's helping kids with homework, going to games, taking people to practice, or it's just talking as a family, whatever it is, I'm like energized and ready to go. And so I was getting all of the energy just sucked out of me because I came here and I wasn't able to work through this problem. Anyway, and so, for me, coming here, collaborating with the staff, working with the PAC members, talking to ICMs, working with vendors, it energizes me because I believe in what we do. And I love seeing the difference that it makes in my life and the difference it makes in so many other people's lives as they are starting to truly espouse, truly take on the Renatus armor and go out there and make a change in the world.
Yeah. It's amazing and wonderful when you can help others and you believe in the cause, you believe in what you do, and that it's helping people. It changes from like a day of I gotta go to work to like I gotta go to work today.
Right.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
I can't remember the last time I said that.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
In fact, my wife has to call me every once in a while and be like, are you coming home? And it's like, right. Yes, I am. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes, right? Like, that's true.
But, one of the things that I have noticed with you in particular is, our offices are right next to each other. I love getting to work with you. And the way that you are able to empathetically and with kindness approach people that are in a difficult spot, because with billing you get to talk to people that are in a difficult circumstance a lot of times. But watching you as you empathize with them and let them know that there is somebody on the other end of the phone who cares about them and cares about their opportunity inside of Renatus, it is amazing.
It's what it's all about, man. It's enjoyable for me. And it's something that I take a lot of satisfaction in, being able to help people that are in a tight spot and are trying to make Renatus work. They're coming to the intensive, and they're going to the study group, and they're showing up to Super Saturday, and they're trying to work their business, right? They're trying to make, themselves a real estate investor. They're trying to market the education, and and everybody's got to start somewhere, and not all of us, start at the start gate. Some people are at a disadvantage, right? And they're starting kind of behind that gate, if you will.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot more hurdles in their life to get over before they can really, do this thing full time and blow it out of the water. And so I want to help them in any capacity I can to make it, because, if they can become a success, oh my gosh, I mean, that's wonderful for us too. Right, that's a success story, but it's so satisfying to see people that are in a bad spot, like a tough spot in life, financially and emotionally, whatever it is, and they're able to make themselves better in all physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, all those things. Like, you become better, you grow. And when you can see that, there are so many people that you look at them across a 5-year span of time, and how they've grown and changed and become so much more.
Right.
It's fun. That's satisfying. That's really cool.
That's super cool.
I love that.
It just goes to show that each one of us here at the home team really have become banner carriers for what Renatus stands for.
Yeah.
Which is empowering every single person to become the change they wish to see in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do the work.
Yeah.
And, I'm here to help how I can.
So. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, we have another question here. Again from Mr. Lamb. Are there any live education weeks coming up in 2023? I want to come.
Are there?
Yes, there are.
Oh, sweet.
Shh, we're not telling anybody yet, though.
It's a secret.
It is a secret.
Okay.
But between me and you, Mr. Lamb, it's going to be in January. So you just but shh, don't tell anyone. We're not announcing that yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are currently working on putting together an education schedule starting in January, and we're going to be re-recording a couple of classes, and we're going to be shifting things around a little bit. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
cool.
You can look forward to that, but we're not telling anyone yet.
Yeah. Cool.
It'll probably be next month when we tell everybody what we're doing.
All right. I'm game.
All right. That's good. Let's see here. I that's all the questions that I have. If there's anybody on the line right now that has another question, go ahead and get it submitted, and we'll take just a few more minutes and answer whatever questions come through.
You know what you should do? Most of the people that watch this don't do it live.
Yeah, they watch it after the fact.
And I wonder, like, if people want to put questions in the chat after this one and for the next one.
Okay.
Next Q&A that we do, we can answer those questions.
You know what? I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
So let's do this. For anybody who is not watching this live, who's watching it after the fact.
Yeah.
Go ahead and submit your questions, and then before we get started next week, let's make sure that you and I take a few minutes, read through those questions, any questions that come through.
That would be awesome.
Post them on the Facebook video.
Facebook video.
That one's going to be easier for us to find.
Well,
we can get there quicker.
You
were having all sorts of issues with the YouTube earlier.
It'll be posted though. It's the live. I'm not sure if we're having an issue streaming it. So live right now on YouTube, but I know for sure I'll be able to pull the YouTube comments by next week, so you can put it anywhere.
All right.
YouTube or Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get it.
So yeah, go ahead and get your questions submitted here, and then we'll come back and we will answer those next week. Let me ask you this, Mr. Snyder.
Yeah.
Well, I can't ask that question because it's got a very direct answer, and I was looking for something a little less direct. Give me just a second here.
You want to hear me bloviate? Is that what?
No. You don't bloviate. You're the opposite of somebody who bloviates. Right. So just in case you're wondering, the word bloviate is somebody who uses as many words as possible to say as little as possible.
Yeah.
And Matthew, that is not you, my friend.
Oh, thanks. I think. I'm just kidding. No, thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, it just means that you give it to a straight. You're a straight shooter for sure.
More straight shooter, y'all.
that's not what I. Oh my gosh.
What?
So
I just when I hear straight shooting, I hear it in a southern accent. I don't know why.
that wasn't southern. That I'm not quite sure what that was.
I'm not much of an accent guy. I don't know. Like
Alvin asked, "Is there snow in Salt Lake City in January?" Hopefully. Hopefully.
That depends on how much you drive your car there in Maine. I don't know. Like things are changing. If we're being honest, it's changing. I don't know.
15 years ago, we'd get a couple feet of snow.
We would.
And over the last couple of winters, it hasn't been that much. Now the mountains still get pounded with snow. There will be 100+ inches of snow up in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
the ski resorts and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Where Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Front is in kind of this protected bowl of mountains all around us. It creates kind of a warm pocket right here above the Wasatch Front and causes not as much snow to fall here as what used to.
Yeah. I think things are changing. When I was a kid, there was a lot of snow. And I've heard people, oh, well, it's because you're shorter. No. No, because it was measurable. Like we would measure it with yardsticks and stuff. And so
man.
Because
you're shorter.
It wasn't because I was shorter, especially because I was the same height. I've been the same height for like 20 years now. And I remember a lot more snow 20 years ago than now. So
I must be more tired than I thought. That was not that funny.
I've had people say that, like, well, you were shorter back then. I was like, well, yeah, but like in the early 2000s, I was still my same height, and we got way more snow then than we do now. So,
all right,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I will say
because I know where it came to on the motorcycle. The motorcycle I still have since 1996.
His daughter now rides it.
So
it's pretty fun.
That's true. It's
pretty fun.
But it didn't get any taller or shorter. So it's the same height.
Let's give everyone just a little preview, and this will be just a little vague.
Okay.
But I can tell everyone this. We are going to have some exciting updates coming to our mobile app in the next several months that they can look forward to. I can also tell them, and I'm going to say this pretty directly, even though we're not quite there yet, but our mobile app is not how do I say this politically correctly? Apple does not like our mobile app.
Tread lightly.
And therefore, the mobile app on Apple will not be getting the same updates as the mobile app for Android. Is that fair?
Apple hates business.
I didn't say that. I wasn't going in there.
So, I said it.
So, yeah, you. There will
why
be
don't
several.
Should we just say what? Like,
no,
does it
not
matter?
Yet, not yet.
No. With Apple, why not just explain what happened?
Well, okay. I wasn't going to go there.
But why not? Why not? People should know.
So Apple came out, and now to be fair, they were not the only ones who did this. Android did it as well, where they said, hey, we're going to, anytime that an app is monetized in any way, shape, or form, we want any monies that are going to the app to go through our merchant accounts. And then they were charging exorbitant fees, like 15% or something like that. And Android recanted quickly. In fact, I don't think they ever put it in place.
Yeah, because I wasn't even aware they did it.
The market revolted.
Yeah.
Apple stuck to their guns.
Yeah.
And I think their percentage that they're charging their users is somewhere between 15 and 30%.
It's 30.
And so
is what
basically anybody who owns an Apple device would have to then give up 30% of their commissions to Apple.
It would be of the total sale.
It would be, and so it'd be a little bit more than 30% of the commissions. But just to make things easy,
sure,
it would be over 30% of your commissions that would end up going straight to Apple.
Yeah,
and therefore we have not updated the app because we're not willing to put that burden onto our onto our people.
Nobody's exactly. And so yeah, people should know why we're not, moving forward.
So, the Android app will be getting the latest and greatest updates, and there are several new wonderful things coming.
Yeah.
And some of which we haven't even fully developed yet. Like we haven't even completed the conversation around it yet. But the conversation that we had today, where we started going through some of this stuff, it's going to be awesome.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we also have some pretty cool things that are going to be updated in Helios, some of which will be revealed at the national conference. Again, just plan on being here for that. We will not live broadcast. That will be live in person only here in Utah. So if you're not inside of the state of Utah, make plans to be here March 30th through April 1st. We'll have a room block and everything for you at the Hilton Garden Inn up in Layton, next to the Davis Conference Center where we're hosting. But yeah, just start making plans now to be here. But yeah,
Yep.
that's just some of the stuff that's coming up, and that's just the next couple of months. Beyond that, we have even more exciting and bigger things that are coming down the pipe. We just haven't fully developed them yet. So we're on our way though. Pretty cool things that are coming.
Absolutely.
I hope that was enough information without people going like, "What are you really talking about, Jay?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but I really can't get into too much because we've done that before where we give too much information and then we have to recant because we weren't able to deliver everything we wanted.
Run into problems that were unforeseen or something like that. So,
but Renatus is rocking. We are doing great and we're only getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Renatus rocks.
Renatus does rock. Thanks, everybody, for being with us today. Remember, if you've got a question that you'd like us to answer, go ahead and just drop it in the comments now, and then we will address it next week. We will be back, hopefully, with our featured guest next week. And yeah, we'll be at the same time in the same place. So thanks, everybody, for being with us. Wanted to give a shout-out real quick to our producer, Mr. Andrew James. On behalf of myself and Mr. Snyder and all the rest of the Renatus home team, don't forget, Renatus rocks because of the people who are associated with it, and that includes you. Thanks for being with us. Renatus rocks.